The crisis has passed. The emergency meetings are over and the dust has settled. But things are never quite the same. Those executives who left to pursue other opportunities, their LinkedIn profiles already say advisor or board partner. Funny how that works. You exhale. You think, finally, back to normal. Except normal isn't coming back. What comes next is something no one sends a memo about. No town hall, no we'd like to share our new operating model. What comes next is the reset. And the reset is three things, whether you're told or not. First, someone is deciding which powers to pull back up. Second, someone is deciding which powers to hand back down. Someone is deciding who gets to sit in the new power seats. You think this is HR, you think this is strategy, you think this is boardroom theater, upper pay grade only, nothing to do with you. It's not. This is the moment your decision latitude for the next 3 years gets quietly, permanently redrawn. You have no vote, but you can still learn to read the map. There are 3 seats you can occupy during a reset, not job titles, survival positions. Seat 1, you wait. You tell yourself it's temporary. Once the stock recovers, once the new CEO settles in, they'll give the approval limits back. Just be patient. What you don't see, you're now seen as someone whose influence has been minimized. The decisions you used to be part of no longer come your way. You stop planning next quarter. You're not sure who'll hold the budget pen by then. In cross-functional meetings, the primary seat is offered to someone else. First time, you call it coordination. 5th time, you don't mention it. You didn't lose anything except the future. Seat 2, you protest. You send the email. You list your contributions. You say, this is inefficient. This kills ownership. This isn't fair. What no one bills you for. Your objections don't appear in the minutes. Your propensity for objection appears somewhere else. Not punishment, just a notation. And notations have a way of resurfacing when the next redistribution cycle begins. Senior meetings start forgetting to invite you, not exclusion. We just didn't want to add to your stress. You spend your energy defending the old map. By the time the new map is locked in, you're the only one still navigating with the wrong coordinates. Seat 3, you read the map. You don't complain. You don't wait. You open a private document. Which approvals moved up? Which layer? What's the stated reason? Risk or strategy? Who gained authority in this cycle? What do their profiles have in common? Costs of this seat. 0 short-term return. No one pays you for pattern recognition. You have to run 2 operating systems at once. Cooperative on the outside, observational on the inside. That burns cognitive calories. You're neither beneficiary nor defender. Low visibility, safe but solitary. But when the dust settles, you'll realize the real game hasn't even started yet. And you have to surrender something. The demand that power distribution should feel fair right now. If that demand is wired into you, this seat will quietly exhaust you. 3 seats, no HR manual lists them, but you're already sitting in one. Here's the decoding tool no one gives you, 3 signals to collect. Signal 1, what kind of power move is this? Some powers get pulled up permanently, written into the new delegation manual, new approval matrix, new policy. Some powers are marked interim. There's a sunset clause. It says, valid for 6 months in fine print. Question, is this permanent institutional revision or provisional control? Signal 2, is the power attached to the seat or to the person? New approval rights, do they go to the role department head or does the appointment document name the individual? Role-based power says we're trying to build a rule-based system. Person-based power says we're trying to control specific people. Neither is evil, but they are not the same thing. Signal 3. Did the law change first or the people? People out, then new policy written? Power retrieval dominant. New policy written, then people adjusted. Rule reshaping dominant. Old people, new policy, old actors in new costumes. New people, old policy, new actors carrying old baggage. This sequence tells you more than any strategy deck. Now plot what you're seeing. If you see permanent rule change, power attached to role, law first then people, rule-based reset, system trying to depersonalize power. Your move, learn the new rules. Become a professional node inside them. If you see provisional controls, power attached to person, people first, then law. Control-based reset, system prioritizing retrieval over reform. Your move, build credibility with the new power holders. Trust is the currency here. If you see mixed signals, tug of war, no clear sequence, transitional reset. Reform and preservation forces are still fighting. Your move, this is the lowest cost positioning window. Don't waste it on the sidelines. If you see no stable pattern, chronic ambiguity, rules not enforced, people operating outside formal authority, suspended reset, reset failed, system is in surface stability, substantive disorder. Your move, exposure management. Do not anchor your long-term identity here. That's the quadrant. No one at work will teach it to you. Now you have it. 2 stories, both true. One you've heard of, one you haven't. 2013. Detroit files for bankruptcy. Largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. After the crisis, Detroit doesn't leave IT scattered across 50 departments. It uses legal enforcement to pull every data center, every procurement approval, every software license into one new division. First, retrieve the power. Then it spends 10 years integrating GIS analysts, database administrators, web developers, from 50 silos into one reporting line, one performance standard, one career ladder. Then redistribute the power. Today, Detroit is a global benchmark for city digital transformation. Not because it has more money than New York, because it used the crisis window to reset the topology and then let the new topology grow muscle. 2025, Washington, Doge. Launched with headlines, supposed to bring Silicon Valley efficiency to the federal government. What happened? People changed. New teams came in, old names were cleared out. But the federal acquisition regulation, not one page revised. Civil service protection, not one clause touched. Congressional appropriations, same allocation logic, same 50-year-old categories. People changed, law didn't. So the new people ran on old tracks. When they couldn't run, they fought. When they couldn't win, they left. The outcome wasn't reform failure. The outcome was reform never entered the building before the building ejected it out. Detroit and Washington. The difference isn't technology, isn't budget, isn't leadership ambition. The difference is sequence. Retrieve, then redistribute. Change the law and change the people in that order. Miss one step, the reset collapses. 3 directions, not steps, directions. 1, start a timeline, not a list of names, a list of intervals. Crisis to first exit, how many days? Exit to new policy, how many weeks? New policy to next crisis, how many months? 6 months from now, you won't be guessing. You'll be reading the cycle, but what if the cycle takes an unexpected turn? Can you still adapt? 2, learn to see 2 kinds of centralization. Control centralization, more signatures, but no clearer criteria. Longer process, but accountability still ends at the executor. Function centralization, fewer signatures, but each signatory carries more weight. Clear decision frameworks, published delegation boundaries. One is risk logic. The other is management logic. Don't treat them the same way. 3. Become a memory carrier. In a reset cycle, power won't come to you. Approval authority will be guarded, but the system still needs people who remember. Who knows why this approval was elevated 3 years ago? Who can translate between finance and operations so they stop yelling at each other? Who remembers how the last 6 cases not covered by policy were actually handled? This is not power. This is memory. Power gets redistributed every cycle. Memory doesn't. Memory requires no application, no approval, no deference to anyone's mood. It's the only asset you can carry across resets without asking permission. None of this guarantees you a better seat. None of this makes the reset feel fair. Clarity isn't protection. It's just the qualification to name what phase you're in. But next time someone asks, so is the company stable now? You won't say, I guess so. Hard to tell. You'll say, type 2 reset, power retrieval dominant, new delegation manual expected next quarter. I'm watching 3 strategic appointments. They'll determine resource flow for the next phase. One sounds like uncertainty. The other sounds like you've decoded the game. One more thing. When the reset is over, the system doesn't go back to normal. It goes into defense mode. Rules get tighter. Approvals get denser. Cross-functional collaboration costs more energy. Not because another crisis hit, because the system just spent 6 months resetting power, and now it needs to protect the new configuration. That's not reform fatigue. That's the natural switch from repair to defense. Next episode, L3-58, why good systems also enter defensive mode, and how to tell whether you're in a phase adjustment or the system is quietly migrating to a different state of existence.